In order to analyze using trigonometry, we need to learn and understand how to apply certain laws and certain trigonometric identities. Before we introduce this, let us define the nomenclature. We will be using RPK's letters or capital letters to indicate sides, the length of a side, and we will be using lowercase Greek letters to indicate angles. So the law of sines states that side A divided by the sine of the opposite angle, which is angle alpha, will be equal to side B divided by the sine of the opposite angle, which is equal to side C divided by the sine of the opposite angle. So remember, the side divided by the sine of the opposite angle. The next law is the law of cosines. The law of cosines states that the square of one of the sides is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides minus 2 times the product of the other two sides times the cosine of the included angle in those two other sides. In this case, we observe that we are using sides B and C, so the included angle between B and C is angle alpha. Or we can think of this as the angle opposite to the unknown side. In addition to these two laws, of course, we can write the law of cosines where we have b squared equals something or c squared equals something. This will be possibly an exercise for you to write down. Then there are also a lot of trigonometric identities. We are not going to show all of them, but we are going to show only 2 of them. We are going to show the addition, the sign of adding 2 angles, alpha plus beta, and this is equal to the sine of the first angle times the cosine of the second plus the sine of the second times the cosine of the first. If instead of having the sine of alpha plus beta, if we had sine of alpha minus beta, then all we have to do is to change the addition to subtraction in this expression. The next trigonometric identity is the one that gives us the cosine of alpha plus beta. And this will be equal to the cosine of alpha times the cosine of beta minus the sine of alpha times the sine of beta. Now, if instead of the addition we have the subtraction, alpha minus beta, then the subtraction here in this expression will become an addition. So be careful to distinguish whether you're finding the sine or the cosine and use the correct addition or subtraction.